Hello there, my name is Ronnie Rodriguez, and this is my video presentation for my PowerPoint for Texas government on the role of the people in the Texas political system. So what is the role of people in the Texas political system? Well, Texas is a state that wants as little government interference as possible while still holding on to the traditional moral values of the South. Evidence of this can be found in the values of people and political parties, as well as the political culture of the state. Throughout my presentation, we'll discuss the role of the people in their public opinion, as well as interest groups, political parties, and elections, and we'll cover key issues and the rights and responsibilities of the citizens. The role of public opinion. Public opinion in the state of Texas plays a major role in how the government stays running. Historically speaking, Texas is a state that wants more control by the people with less interference by the government. The most popular example of this was when then Governor E.J. Davis was governor of the state and held an election to ratify the Constitution in 1869. Davis, having used too much of his power for the use of ratification of the Constitution, as well as electing the convention members himself, was voted out of office and replaced by Democrat Richard Koch in 1973. Because he was seen as the most controversial governor in that time, the citizens of Texas lost faith in the Republican Party. As a result of this, they kept Republicans out of governorship for over 100 years, and it wasn't until 1978 when Bill Clements, who was a Republican, was elected into office. The role of special interest groups. Special interest groups are vital to Texas politics because they are the main advocates for certain issues. There are many different interest groups that cover a vast majority of topics, such as abortion, agriculture and food, animal rights, education, immigration, and so on. Some of these groups may be run by individuals who specialize in that subject. For example, there are agriculture and food interest groups that may have been started by and continue to be run by ranchers, farmers, fruit growers. And this is a way to educate the public and the government officials on their issues and to influence public policy. Others may be started by individuals who feel so strongly about an issue and want to advocate, educate, and influence the public policy for their topic. Some of these interest groups are important because without them and the individuals that organize and run them, certain issues may never be looked at by the government and may never be spoken up for or supported by the public. One example of these would be environmental issues. Some people see global warming as a threat to our environment. Others see it as a non-threat and feel there are bigger issues at hand. So if it weren't for the special interest groups who will research, advocate, and educate for these issues, they may get overlooked. The role of political parties, state and local elections. Political parties play a huge role in the political system and pretty much define our election system. Just as with the nation, political parties are used when voting for our leaders. Texas, since approximately the mid to late 1900s, has been known to be a majority Republican state, and reasons for this can be due to the voting process and turnout. Majority of the voters in Texas tend to be those who have been voting for a very long time. But considering the confusing and overwhelming ballot tickets that we most often face, the voting process is greatly partisan. Most will try to vote straight ticket, choosing the party over the actual candidate. And this is somewhat problematic in a sense because this keeps political leaders in office that may not be looking out for the interest of the people as a whole, but rather the businesses who fund them. Partisanship is also used when it shouldn't be. For instance, when electing judges, judges should be kept and operate nonpartisan. However, this may not always be the case in Texas. The rights and responsibilities of citizens. The rights are freedoms that we have that are protected by our laws. And this is just a list of some of the rights of the Texans, but freedom to express yourself, to worship as you wish, to a prompt fair trial by jury, the right to vote in elections for public officials, to apply for federal employmentship regarding U.S. citizenship, to run for elected office, and the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And responsibilities are our duties or things that we should do as citizens, which are listed in the Constitution. But some of our responsibilities are to support and defend the Constitution, stay informed on the issues affecting your community, participate in the democratic process, respect and obey federal, state, and local laws, respect the rights, beliefs, and opinions of others, which we as a people need to do more of, participate in the local community, which similarly I believe that we as a people should do a lot more of, pay income taxes, and serve on a jury, defend the country if the need should arise. Key issues and policies. Some of the key issues Texans are currently facing include gun control, the immigration, and the border wall. These were all hot topics during the 2016 presidential election and continue through today. And being that Texas is majorly a Republican state, these are all hot topics in our state as well. The divide between Americans and in Texas stems from a lot of these issues within the country itself. The political culture in Texas tends to represent a mixture of traditional and individualistic political cultures. What are these? Well, our textbook defines traditional political culture as seeing the government as having a limited role concerned with the preservation of the existing social order, which I described earlier as Texas wanting more control by the people, less control by the government. And in an individualistic political culture, the idea that individuals are best left largely free of the intervention of the community forces such as the government, and that government should attempt only those things demanded by the people it is created to serve. Both of those speak highly on the state of Texas itself, the citizens, and their views on the government when it comes to how the government should run the state. As you can see, the role of the people in the Texas's political system is vital. Without the people, the current system of voting and selecting the political leaders would be non-existent. Without the people, we wouldn't be able to form the special interest groups that hold certain issues to a higher standard and get the information and education out that is needed. Without the people, we wouldn't be able to hold ourselves accountable for our rights and responsibilities that we should and could continue to implement when debating political issues. And if it weren't for the people, our political leaders wouldn't be held accountable for the actions or the things that they should be implementing. As for Texas's belief in government, for now, it seems that as long as the government doesn't interfere with the traditional values most Texans hold high, the government will continue to run as it has without much change. Whether that's good or bad is subjective and mostly depends on which party you affiliate with. One thing will always remain the same, however, and that is if you want something to change, you need to exercise your most important responsibility, and that's to get out there and vote. If you are of age, educate yourself on the key issues of the state, educate yourself on the key issues of the country, and get out there and exercise that responsibility. Because every vote does count, and without your vote, your beliefs, your opinions, your views won't be held to the standard that it should be. And without your vote, our political leaders wouldn't be held accountable for their actions as they should be. Whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter. What matters is that as a whole, people can debate certain issues and bring forth a state with leaders that are there to lead for the people as a whole, not there to lead strictly for their party. I just believe that accountability by the people is vital to our leaders, whether on the state or federal level, to ensure that they are providing the state or country with the best leadership possible. So once again, without the people, we wouldn't be able to have these rights. We wouldn't be able to have these responsibilities. We wouldn't have that accountability for ourselves and for our leaders to do what is right for our country and to do what is right for the people. So again, If you're over 18 and you meet all the criteria to do so, get out there and vote, and do what you believe is right for our country and our state, the local communities, and so on. Thank you.